So, the NVIDIA Quadro K4200 is supposed to be a serious 3D rendering card for workstations. But you know what? Forget work. Today, as per usual, we're gaming on it. So, can this office GPU actually survive in the gaming world? We've paired this workstation GPU with a powerful i9-13900K CPU, a Z790 motherboard, and 64GB of DDR5 memory to ensure that the GPU is the only limiting factor in today's benchmark. Right, before we get into what this beast can do, let's first break down its impressive specs. The NVIDIA Quadro K4200 is built on NVIDIA's Kepler architecture. It comes with 1344 CUDA cores and 32 ROPs. It has a base clock speed of 771 MHz and can boost up to 8,003,641. Only joking, and can boost up to 784 MHz. This card comes with 4GB of GDDR5 memory on a 256-bit bus, delivering a total memory bandwidth of 172.8 gigabits per second. With a TDP of 108 watts, it draws power via a single 6-pin PCIe connector and runs on a PCIe 2.0x16 interface. The K4200 supports Direct Compute 5.0, CUDA, OpenCL, and DirectX 11. For display outputs, it normally comes with 2 display ports, as well as a DVI-I dual link. Upon its launch in July of 2014, the NVIDIA Quadro K4200 was considered a high-performance, professional graphics card. Right, that's the boring bit done. Now let's batter this thing with some actual games. The online marketplace for CD keys and software. G2A.com, where you can find discounts on all the keys you need. The first game is Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered at 1080p resolution with high graphics settings and motion blur disabled. The remaster came out in 2019, with the original title dating back to 2012. Now, upon reflection, I probably should have tried the original version, as the remaster does seem to struggle a bit under these settings. When it launched in 2014, the NVIDIA Quadro K4200 wasn't designed with gaming in mind. Instead, it was built for professionals who needed reliability, precision, and performance in their daily tasks. This workstation-class GPU was optimized for advanced 3D modeling and visualization, making it ideal for CAD design, digital content creation, engineering simulations, and other resource-intensive professional applications. It also supported multi-high-end resolution displays simultaneously, so it was perfect for multitasking, detailed design work, and managing complex projects. In terms of performance, Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered averages 44 FPS, with a 1% and 0.1% lows at 41 FPS. So Cyberpunk 2077 it is, at 1080p resolution on low settings. With depth of field and motion blur turned off, the NVIDIA Quadro delivers slideshow-like performance. The game is basically unplayable. Dropping down to 720p probably would have been the smarter choice here, but I wanted to see how it holds up at full HD, since the card was released right in the thick of that era. Generally speaking, the Quadro struggles with any demanding titles. Now, I only paid £35 for it on eBay, which is around $47, and I mainly picked it up to give my Plex server a bit of help with video transcoding, and to be fair, it actually does quite a decent job in that department. I might do a separate video on that in the future. Anyway, when it comes to Cyberpunk 2077 and its performance, well, we're looking at an average of 15 FPS, and with lows dipping to 12 FPS. Definitely not ideal for gaming. Now moving quickly on to Fallout 4, the next-gen updated edition, available on Steam, running at 1080p resolution with the medium settings preset, and FXAA for anti-aliasing. This version includes a number of visual enhancements over the original release, sharper textures, improved lighting, and a general cleaner look that takes advantage of more modern hardware. It costs $9, which is £6.70 here in the UK, or alternatively, you could opt for the Fallout 4 Game of the Year edition, Edition, which is available on the GOG Galaxy platform. This is the original vanilla version of the game, without the upgraded textures or enhanced graphics. It still looks good, but when compared side by side, the Steam update appears noticeably more polished, whereas the Game of the Year edition retains the more dated look of the 2015 release. I've included links to both versions of the game in the description as usual. In terms of performance with the Quadro, we're averaging 54 FPS, the 1% low at 30 FPS and the 0.1% low at 10 FPS. Next we have Grand Theft Auto 5 Legacy Edition running at 1080p resolution with the graphics set to the normal settings and FXAA enabled. For a plex server use, the NVIDIA Quadro acts as a dedicated transcoding GPU, supporting a wide range of codecs including H.264 AVC, H.265 HEVC and VP9 for hardware-accelerated encoding and decoding. It handles standard HD and 4K SDR content quite well. However, most Quadro cards struggle to fully transcode HDR 4K. In such instances, HDR streams may be tone mapped to SDR, which can slightly reduce visual fidelity compared to true HDR playback. So if you're just starting out with Plex or Jellyfin servers, this is a rather handy entry-level card for your transcoding needs. But bear in mind though, that HDR performance isn't its strong point, but with the price of the Quadro, £35 isn't exactly much. In Grand Theft Auto 5 Legacy Edition, we achieve an average of 72 FPS, a 1% low of 50 FPS, and a 0.1% low of 31 FPS. Next up we have Borderlands 2, and once again running at 1080p with high graphics settings. Depth of field is switched off and FXAA enabled. This game was released in 2012, so running it on this card poses no issues at all. The 4GB of VRAM actually performs better in gaming than you might expect. In fact, the Quadro K4200 delivers performance very similar to a GTX 960. The FPS results were almost identical, demonstrating that the Quadro can handle older games as effectively as a mid-range gaming card from the same era. You can also watch the full video on our channel called Can the GTX 960 Still Game in 2025? And as always, all the relevant links can be found in the description below. Now, in terms of performance in Borderlands 2, we get an average of 59 FPS, with a 1% low of 38 FPS and a 0.1% low of 31 FPS. Finally, we have Fortnite running at 1080p in Legacy Performance Depreciated mode, using the DirectX 11 API. In Fortnite, it manages a respectable average of 109 FPS, with a 1% low of 71 FPS and a 0.1% low of 39 FPS. So, to wrap things up, the NVIDIA Quadro K4200 may be an older workstation GPU, but in 2025 it still has some use cases. It's great for light, moderate 3D modelling, but however, for gaming or AI workloads though, it's definitely showing its age, so you're better off looking at a more modern GPU. But if you've got one lying around, or you've picked it up cheap for a workstation build, it's still a reliable, power-efficient option. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more tech fun. I'm David James, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.